Hey, thanks for tuning in today. So I've had a weird morning today, and weird in a great way. So I woke up, yesterday I mapped out the 3 key things I needed to get done today. And then I've been able to really work my way through. I haven't completely finished. What I am doing by recording this episode is having a bit of a mini break, but this is probably the 3.5. Every day I've got to do a podcast episode, so I don't really include it in the top 3 things. It's just something that I've got to fit in around the day. And also exercise would be the other half. Okay, so I'm kind of cheating here. There's more than 3, but like exercise is a non-negotiable every day, as is doing this podcast. So they don't really count as my 3 focus items. I guess that's the value when you do create habits, is that they're things that you don't negotiate on, so you have to do. And then everything else is obviously what you need to focus on. But I've been really good at sticking to those 3 things. I smashed out the first really important thing, which was getting a proposal out really quickly this morning. And I've got 2. These are both kind of creative, just workshop design things. I find workshop design, I've wrote the book on designing fast, but also it's a very creative enterprise. And a lot of it isn't just sitting in front of a computer. It's thinking, it's dreaming, it's really getting into the shoes of the people that are coming along to the workshop, and also remembering why you're actually running it and being very clear on that. So those things have been capturing most of my time today. But it's been weird because I haven't been doing things like checking my phone or emails or updating LinkedIn or anything like that. I've really just kept and had some discipline today. And it got me thinking about that concept, which I actually brought up in a client conversation last week, about the signal versus the noise. And so I just wanted to share that today, that metaphor. In case you haven't heard it, what is signal versus noise? So if you think about it, imagine that you're at a party and you're having a conversation with someone. So the signal is your friend's voice, the person you're trying to listen to, the actual words that you need to hear. But the noise is everything else going on in the background, right? So the music, other conversations, people laughing, glasses clinking, all that background chaos that makes it harder to focus on what matters. The signal is the stuff that actually matters, the real message, the action that actually moves things forward. So in a business, for example, proposals like sales is a real driver for my business. So it had to be priority number 1. Sometimes I don't like doing that because, again, even writing proposals is a bit of a creative endeavor. But you think, well, that's the signal. That's the important stuff in my business. It has to be prioritized. Noise is everything else. So the distractions, the urgent emails that aren't actually that important, endlessly scrolling for updates, being responsive on things like WhatsApp. And I've had a lot of WhatsApp messages come through, but I have not been tempted at all to check them because they are not part of the signal. So this whole thing around signal versus noise, it comes from old school radio engineering. So if you're trying to tune into a clear station, but you've got all the static interference, the signal is what you're trying to hear. The noise and the static is just everything else. And so what is important in life is actually defining what is the signal, because I think a lot of the time, this is where we can get busy and maybe unproductive, is when we're just chasing everything, whether it's signal or noise. I'm not being very intentional of, hey, what are the key levers or the key drivers, the key focus items that will actually move me, my team, my business forward? And we get locked into everything else. And, we're so responsive and maybe doing a really great job, like replying to everyone's email, but we're not actually creating that impact as well. And because we live in such a distraction economy, every time you let noise interrupt your flow, you're actually burning decision fuel. I've taken breaks and I've checked my phone, but if something's required more than an easy response, then I just haven't responded. I'm not putting my brain power there until I get these top 3 things done. And our brain also has, I think, a finite to give every day. And even now, as I record this just after lunch, this isn't my high cognitive time. That's probably why I'm recording a podcast episode now, to give myself a bit of a relax before I get back into the workshop developing. So I guess my challenge for you is think about tomorrow, what you'd like to achieve, and maybe write those 3 things down and really be decisive around them. Think, are these actual signals? Will these drive whatever I want to achieve forward? Or are they just, again, busy work, some noise that aren't really improving your condition or your client's condition? That's it, the signal versus noise. Let me know if you've heard that metaphor before or if it was a good reminder for you, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.